Thank you for your interest in the Legislative Council. The Legislative Council is one of 6 service agencies in the Wisconsin Legislature. Each service agency supports the legislature's operations and lawmaking. The Legislative Council does this through providing high-quality legal and policy research to legislative committees and individual legislators. A successful analyst or attorney with the Legislative Council has strong research skills and also has strong written and verbal communication skills. And now I will turn it over to some of our staff to describe their experiences working at the council.
What I've really enjoyed about Leg Council, and I think is a very great reason to join our office, is the countless opportunities you have to work on different subjects on a day-to-day basis.
Anyone who is interested in learning and constantly growing would be a great fit for this job. It's constantly learning new things.
For example, my background in the office is in agriculture, energy and utilities, and the environment. And 1 hour I might be looking at a question about how the state government regulates utility rates, and then the next hour I might be looking at issues related to pollinator health. And I've really liked how we can kind of bounce back and forth between different subjects so quickly.
Our job is a mixture of keeping up with the news and then diving deeper into those news topics, because we need to be there to really educate the legislators on how to approach those topics from a policy standpoint.
Also provide real solutions to legislators and kind of get that immediate feedback from them that we're doing quality work. I kind of like the instant gratification that the job provides in a lot of ways.
The role of a legislative council attorney is to assist and advise the Wisconsin legislature on lawmaking, substantive issues that they're dealing with in bills, and also the lawmaking process itself.
My different background at Leg Council helps me to kind of bring a different perspective to some other issues.
We wear a number of different hats, including providing legal services to legislative standing committees. We respond to individual legislative requests for research and legal analysis. We do that, of course, on a confidential basis, so we serve all 132 state legislators the same. The nonpartisanship and serving all members of the legislature equally is really integral to maintaining trust.
To take the politics out of the knowledge and education that the legislators need.
That we're here to make all the processes run more smoothly and to make more effective policy.
That's sort of the way that I navigate what is in some ways a very hyper-partisan world that we operate in, is knowing that I do my research, analyze the issue, and the answer is whatever I've concluded it to be, regardless of who's asking that question or why they're asking.
The training that new attorneys get and new analysts receive upon starting, it's both very comprehensive and guided. There's a lot of trainings with more established staff members.
In my first year at Legislative Council, there was a lot of support in place and a lot of systems in place in our office to help kind of orient and train me. I think the office did a really great job of kind of bringing me up to speed on issues of just the functioning of state government, how the legislature works.
But there's also time allowed for sort of an independent study to get to know your topic areas and to kind of get to know what the job looks like.
One of the best things about working at the Legislative Council is the office culture. And by that, I mean the relationships that I have with my other colleagues.
I think we have a really great balance of independent and collaborative work.
It's not only okay to talk to your colleagues, but welcomed and encouraged, and that some of our best thinking is done when we bounce ideas off one another.
And I think we've got a very flat office structure in that it's not hierarchical at all.
I can confidently say that I enjoy talking to all of my colleagues.
Everyone's on the same level playing field in terms of helping each other out with issues.
And one of the best things about our office is that we are all not only professionally cordial with one another, but genuinely enjoy each other's company.
A great office environment. Everyone is super kind and welcoming.
We have a very strong open door policy.
On that, I think everyone in the office is very willing to help out with each other's work.
It allows for great work-life balance.
I think a lot of great opportunities to work with people all over our office.
Working at Legislative Council is never not interesting.
I find it really fulfilling to take problems that legislators bring to the table and help them come up with legislative solutions.
Our job is very quick pace. You are constantly learning something, and you get to work with lots of different people.
So our work can really span the entire legislative process with all of the kind of varied advice and roles that we're called upon to serve. And we are there to provide that expertise. Well, I've had experience advising a legislator on the merits of a constituent's unsolicited suggestion for a change to the law, helping them create drafting instructions for a bill to codify this idea, staff the committee hearings in the legislature, answered questions from members of both houses as the bills proceeded for votes in those bodies. That bill, which started as a kernel of an idea from an inquiry from a constituent, made its way all the way through the process and was eventually sent to the governor and enacted.
Most of the products that we put out as Leg Council are written products, so a big part of the job is learning how to write for a legislative audience and for the public generally. It is a whole different kind of style of writing to learn than what you would learn in law school. Everybody's really willing to help. They're willing to look over what you've written and offer meaningful feedback that really helps you grow as a writer and as an attorney.
I've worked at the Legislative Council for just under 5 years, and I have definitely grown in my role here during that time.
I've been with the Legislative Council for 6 years as an attorney. And I still find that there is room to grow and learn.
When you first begin working here, you have some baseline knowledge or subject areas that you're assigned to, but as you work in those areas, it's really fulfilling, and I feel growth in sort of mastering and expertise in those subject areas. One of the other ways in which I've grown is understanding better the legislative institution in which we operate. Unless you really work with the legislature routinely when you first start, that is an area that takes some mastering, and I feel like at almost 5 years, it's a place that I've really grown into in terms of understanding the institution.
Our job requires us to be prepared to understand quickly and advise the legislature on new things that can't really be anticipated. So there's a variety to the work that in the environment that really creates opportunities for legislative council attorneys to find innovative ways to solve problems for the legislature.
And finally, one of the main areas of growth is just relationships. At the longer you work in this role, the stronger your relationships get, not only with our own colleagues at Leg Council, but with legislative staff and legislators themselves.